Mudbrick houses and family life. The first light of another peaceful morning spreads across the Nile Valley. As the golden sun slowly rises above the eastern horizon, the village begins to wake once again. Thin streams of smoke curl gently upward from clay ovens. Birds glide across the calm waters of the Nile. Somewhere in the distance, a donkey announces the beginning of another busy day. You walk along a narrow dirt path between rows of simple mud-brick homes. From the outside, they appear modest. Their walls are smooth but weathered, shaped from the rich mud of the Nile mixed with straw and dried beneath the Egyptian sun. To modern eyes, these homes may seem plain. Yet every wall, every doorway, and every room has been carefully designed to help families survive Egypt's demanding climate. The houses are built close together. This provides shade during the hottest hours of the afternoon and creates a strong sense of community. Children can safely move between neighboring homes. Families rarely feel alone. As you step through a low wooden doorway, the cool air inside surprises you. The thick mud-brick walls have done exactly what they were designed to do. They have protected the family from the heat outside. The home is simple but thoughtfully arranged. A central room serves many purposes throughout the day. In the morning, it becomes a place to prepare food. During the afternoon, it offers shade from the sun. At night, it transforms into a sleeping area. Furniture is limited. A few wooden stools, low tables, large clay jars filled with grain, water, and cooking oil. Everything has its place. Nothing is unnecessary. A ladder leans against one wall, leading to the flat roof above. During warm evenings, many families climb onto the roof to enjoy the cool breeze drifting across the Nile. Sometimes they even sleep there beneath the stars, escaping the heat trapped inside the house. Nearby, a small courtyard provides space for grinding grain, weaving linen, or caring for chickens and goats. Life extends beyond the walls of the home. The entire house is part of the family's daily routine. As you quietly observe the morning, you notice that these homes are never silent. Children laugh. Parents prepare for work. Neighbors greet one another through open doorways. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the air. Although these houses lack the comforts of the modern world, they are filled with something far more valuable: family. They are places of protection, learning, laughter, and love. For the people of ancient Egypt, a home is not measured by its size. It is measured by the lives shared within it. As another peaceful day begins, the mud-brick homes of the Nile quietly come alive once more. As the village grows busier, your attention turns toward the youngest members of the community, children. Their laughter echoes through the narrow streets as they run between mud-brick homes, chasing one another beneath the warm morning sun. For a moment, they seem no different from children today. They smile. They play. They ask endless questions. But childhood in ancient Egypt is very different from the one most people know today. From an early age, children begin preparing for adulthood. There are no large classrooms filled with desks. No school buses waiting outside. For most families, education begins at home. Parents become the first teachers. Fathers teach sons how to farm, fish, build, or work with tools. Mothers teach daughters how to prepare food, weave linen, manage the household, and care for younger children. Every lesson is practical. Every skill has a purpose. As you walk through the village, you see a young boy carefully following his father into the fields. The man patiently explains how to recognize healthy soil and when crops need water. Nearby, a young girl watches her mother grind grain into flour. Her small hands imitate every movement. She is learning not from books, but from daily life itself. Of course, children also find time to play. They carve small wooden toys, throw balls made from stitched leather, play games using stones, sticks, and simple handmade objects. Their imaginations transform ordinary things into adventures. Laughter remains an important part of childhood, even in a world filled with responsibility. Not every child follows the same path. A small number, usually from wealthier families, receive formal education. Some become scribes. They spend years learning to read and write the beautiful hieroglyphic symbols that cover temple walls and papyrus scrolls. It is difficult work requiring patience and discipline. But becoming a scribe offers opportunities few others will ever experience. For most children, however, life follows a simpler path. They learn by watching, by helping, by repeating the work of each new day. As the years pass, childhood slowly fades into adulthood. There is no single moment marking the change. Responsibility simply grows a little larger with each passing season. Standing quietly beside the village, you realize something touching. The parents of ancient Egypt wanted many of the same things parents hope for today. Healthy children, a safe home, enough food, a better future. Though thousands of years separate your world from theirs, those hopes remain beautifully familiar. As the morning continues, you begin to understand that the strength of ancient Egypt lies not only in its temples or monuments. It lives inside its families. Marriage is one of the foundations of village life. Unlike the grand royal weddings shown in paintings and stories, most ordinary marriages are simple affairs. There are no enormous ceremonies lasting many days. Instead, a couple begins living together, creating a new household supported by both families. Love, respect, and cooperation matter far more than luxury. A successful marriage depends upon teamwork. The husband often spends long hours farming, fishing, building, or trading. The wife manages many responsibilities within the home. She prepares meals, stores grain, raises children, produces linen clothing, keeps household records of food and supplies. Sometimes she even helps with farming during busy seasons. Women in ancient Egypt enjoy more legal rights than women in many other ancient civilizations. They can own property, buy and sell goods, inherit wealth, and in some cases even manage businesses while their husbands are away. Although daily life remains demanding, women play an essential role in keeping both the family and the wider community strong. Nearby, an elderly grandmother sits beneath the shade of a sycamore tree. Several children gather around her as she quietly tells stories from long ago. She remembers years when the Nile flooded higher than anyone expected. She recalls difficult harvests and joyful festivals. Her memories become lessons for the younger generation. Older family members are deeply respected. Their knowledge cannot be replaced. They know when to plant, how to repair a home, which herbs ease illness, how families solved problems before the children were even born. In a world without printed books for ordinary people, wisdom is carried from one generation to the next through conversation, through memory, through family. As you watch 3 generations sharing the same home and the same daily routine, you begin to appreciate the quiet strength of ancient Egyptian life. Parents provide guidance. Children provide energy. Grandparents provide wisdom. Each generation supports the others. Together, they create something stronger than any single person could achieve alone. Perhaps that is the true secret behind one of history's longest-lasting civilizations. Not only great pharaohs, not only magnificent pyramids, but ordinary families, living together, working together, growing together, one peaceful day at a time beside the eternal Nile. The sun has now climbed higher into the clear Egyptian sky. the village is fully awake. From every home comes the gentle rhythm of daily work. While many of the men have already left for the fields, boats, or construction sites, the homes remain busy from morning until evening. Life inside an ancient Egyptian household is never idle. As you step into a quiet courtyard, you notice a woman kneeling beside a large stone grinding slab. With slow, practiced movements, she crushes dried wheat into fine flour. The work is repetitive, back and forth, hour after hour. By the end of the day, her arms will ache, but tomorrow she will begin again. Nearby, another family member kneads the fresh flour into dough. Soon, flat loaves of bread will bake inside a clay oven, filling the air with a warm and familiar aroma. Bread is more than food. It is the foundation of nearly every meal. Without it, surviving would become far more difficult. Across the courtyard, colorful strands of flax hang drying in the morning sun. Once dry, they will be spun into thread and woven into linen cloth. You watch as an elderly woman carefully guides a simple wooden loom. Each movement is patient and precise. Creating enough cloth for an entire family takes many days of careful work. A young girl carries an empty clay jar toward the Nile. Collecting water is one of the most important daily responsibilities. There are no wells inside most homes. Every jar must be filled by hand and carried back, balanced carefully to avoid spilling a single drop. The journey is made several times each day. Nearby, another woman sweeps the floor with a bundle of reeds. The desert wind constantly blows fine sand into the house. No matter how carefully the home is cleaned, fresh dust returns by the next morning. Still, the work continues. Not because anyone enjoys endless chores, but because every task protects the family's comfort and survival. As the afternoon passes, you realize something remarkable. None of these responsibilities attract attention in history books. No monuments celebrate them. Yet without these ordinary daily chores, ancient Egypt could never have flourished. The pyramids may have reached toward the heavens, but they stood upon the quiet work performed inside homes like these. Leaving the village behind, you once again follow the familiar path toward the fertile fields beside the Nile. The farther you walk, the more you understand a simple truth. Everything in ancient Egypt begins with the farmer. Without healthy crops, there is no bread. Without bread, there are no workers. Without workers, there are no temples, no palaces, and no great monuments. The entire civilization depends upon the quiet determination of ordinary people working beneath the sun. As dawn breaks each morning, farmers are already awake. They carry wooden hoes across their shoulders. Oxen pull simple plows through the rich black soil left behind by the annual flood. Seeds are planted carefully by hand. Every movement follows traditions passed down through countless generations. There is little room for mistakes. The timing of planting must match the rhythm of the Nile. Too early, and the soil may still be too wet. Too late, and the growing season may be lost. Throughout the year, the farmer's work never truly ends. Canals must be repaired, weeds removed, birds chased away from ripening grain, animals fed, tools repaired. Every season brings a new responsibility. The work is physically exhausting. The Egyptian sun grows hotter with each passing hour. Sweat soaks linen clothing. Hands become rough. Feet harden from walking barefoot across dry earth. Yet the farmers rarely complain. They understand that nature cannot be hurried. The Nile rewards patience. As the crops slowly mature, the entire village watches with hope. A successful harvest means full granaries, healthy children, peaceful winters. A poor harvest brings uncertainty for everyone. Even the pharaoh depends upon these fields. Taxes are often paid in grain. Temple workers are fed by the harvest. Soldiers rely upon bread carried during long journeys. Every loaf begins with a single seed planted by an ordinary farmer. Standing among endless fields of golden wheat, you realize something often forgotten. History remembers kings, but civilizations survive because of farmers. As the harvest season continues, not every Egyptian spends the day in the fields. Some travel toward places where the sounds of hammers echo against solid stone. Others prepare boats loaded with goods for distant markets. Ancient Egypt is built not only by farmers but also by skilled workers whose talents shape the kingdom itself. Far from the village, stone workers labor inside vast limestone quarries. Using copper chisels, wooden mallets, and stone hammers, they patiently carve enormous blocks from the cliffs. Each block weighs more than several people combined. The work is dangerous. Dust fills the air. The blazing sun reflects from pale stone, making the heat feel even stronger. Every movement requires teamwork. Nearby, builders carefully transport the heavy blocks using wooden sledges pulled across damp sand. It is slow work. A single mistake could cause serious injury. Yet these workers continue day after day, constructing temples, tombs, city walls, and monuments that will survive for thousands of years. As you leave the construction site, the atmosphere changes. The busy sounds of hammering fade behind you. Ahead lies a lively marketplace near the river. Merchants welcome travelers arriving by boat from villages across Egypt. Colorful baskets overflow with onions, dates, figs, garlic, lentils, pottery, linen cloth, and woven mats. The air is filled with friendly conversation. There are no paper banknotes or credit cards. Most trade happens through barter. One farmer exchanges grain for pottery. Another trades fish for linen. Each agreement depends upon trust and negotiation. Boats glide quietly along the Nile carrying goods between towns. The river serves as Egypt's greatest highway. Without it, trade would be slow and difficult. As you watch merchants loading supplies beneath the afternoon sun, you begin to understand that every profession is connected. Farmers grow the food. Builders raise the temples. Stone workers shape the monuments. Merchants carry resources from one community to another. No single occupation could support Egypt alone. Its greatness comes from thousands of ordinary people, each performing their own small part with remarkable dedication. And perhaps that is the quiet lesson hidden within every ancient village. The strongest civilizations are built through cooperation, not by individuals alone. As the afternoon slowly begins to fade, you discover that not every person in ancient Egypt works with soil, stone, or trade. Some serve with their minds, others with their faith, and some with their courage. Each plays an important role in keeping the kingdom strong. You first meet a young scribe sitting cross-legged beneath the shade of a sycamore tree. Instead of carrying a plow or a hammer, he holds a wooden writing pallet. Beside him rests a rolled sheet of papyrus. With a thin reed brush dipped into black ink, he carefully writes rows of elegant hieroglyphs. Every symbol is neat and precise. A single mistake could change the meaning of an important record. Becoming a scribe is not easy. Years of study are required. Only a small number of Egyptians learn to read and write fluently. Because of this rare skill, scribes are highly respected. They record taxes, write official letters, copy religious texts, and keep records of harvests and trade. Many spend their days inside government offices or temple schools rather than beneath the burning sun. A short walk away, the peaceful sound of chanting drifts from a nearby temple. Inside, priests and priestesses quietly prepare offerings for the gods. They wash carefully before every ceremony, believing cleanliness is a sign of respect. Fresh flowers, bread, fruit, incense, and cool water are placed before sacred statues. Although ordinary people rarely enter the deepest parts of the temple, the priests perform daily rituals on behalf of the entire kingdom. They believe these ceremonies help maintain harmony between the human world and the divine. As the sun lowers toward the horizon, another group passes along the dusty road. Soldiers. They wear simple linen tunics and carry wooden shields, spears, bows, and curved bronze swords. Most spend long hours protecting trade routes, guarding cities, and defending Egypt's borders. While great battles are remembered in history, much of a soldier's life is spent waiting, watching, training, remaining prepared for danger that may never come. Looking around, you realize that ancient Egypt depends upon many different kinds of strength. The farmer feeds the kingdom. The builder shapes it. The scribe organizes it. The priest guides its spirit. The soldier protects its future. Each role is different, yet every role matters. As you continue your journey, your attention shifts away from the famous professions often remembered by history. Instead, you notice the people whose names have long been forgotten. The laborers, the servants, the workers whose daily efforts quietly supported every household, palace, and temple across Egypt. Before sunrise, many servants are already awake. Some prepare food. Others fetch water from the Nile. Some sweep courtyards, wash linen clothing, or care for children while their employers work. The tasks are endless. Most receive food, clothing, and shelter rather than great wealth. For them, survival depends upon hard work every single day. Outside the villages, laborers perform some of the kingdom's most exhausting jobs. Heavy baskets of stone are carried beneath the blazing sun. Large wooden sledges must be pulled across rough ground. Mud bricks are shaped by hand, one after another, hour after hour. The work is slow, demanding, relentless. There are no machines to share the burden, only human strength. Even those who help construct temples or royal tombs rarely expect fame. Their reward is knowing that they have contributed to something larger than themselves. Some workers spend weeks away from their families while building monuments far from home. Others return each evening with sore muscles, blistered hands, and tired feet. Yet tomorrow, they will begin again. Children often help with smaller tasks as they grow older. They carry tools, feed animals, gather firewood. Little by little, responsibility becomes part of everyday life. Standing among these ordinary workers, you begin to understand why surviving ancient Egypt required incredible endurance. History celebrates pharaohs. But every stone they placed upon a monument was lifted by someone whose name has been lost to time. Perhaps these forgotten workers deserve just as much admiration. For without them, the wonders of ancient Egypt would never have existed. The day's work is finally over. The blazing Egyptian sun slowly disappears beyond the western desert, leaving behind a sky painted with gentle shades of gold, orange, and deep purple. The village begins to slow. Farmers return from the fields. Builders lay down their tools. Merchants tie their boats along the riverbank. Children race home, their laughter echoing between the mud brick houses. Soon, the comforting smell of fresh bread and warm lentil stew drifts through the evening air. Families gather together once more. Simple reed mats are spread across the floor. Clay bowls are placed in the center. There are no grand feasts tonight. Only bread, vegetables, dates, onions, perhaps a little fish from the Nile. Yet after a long day's work, the meal tastes rich. Not because of luxury, but because it is shared. As darkness gently settles across the village, conversation replaces the sounds of labor. Parents ask children what they learned today. Grandparents tell stories about floods, harvests, and ancient kings. Neighbors stop by to exchange news or offer help for tomorrow's work. Some families sing quiet songs. Others simply sit together, enjoying the cool evening breeze. Above them, the stars slowly fill the night sky. Without city lights, the heavens appear endless. The Milky Way stretches across the darkness like another great river flowing above the Nile itself. One by one, the small clay oil lamps are gently extinguished. The village grows peaceful. Only the chirping of crickets, the distant calls of frogs, and the soft sound of water moving along the Nile remain. As you lie upon a woven reed mat, looking toward the countless stars overhead, you realize something unexpected. Despite all the hardships of ancient Egyptian life, the endless work, the heat, the uncertainty, there is also deep contentment. People find joy not in comfort or wealth, but in family, in friendship, in shared meals, in quiet evenings beneath the stars. Perhaps this is the greatest lesson of your journey through everyday life in ancient Egypt. Happiness is often found in ordinary moments. And as your eyes grow heavier, the peaceful sounds of the Nile invite you gently towards sleep. For tomorrow, your journey will continue into the magnificent world of gods, temples, and the mighty pharaohs who ruled this extraordinary land. Good night. A new day begins beside the Nile. The morning air is cool, and the village slowly wakes beneath the soft golden light of the rising sun. From a distance, everything appears peaceful. Farmers prepare for another day in the fields. Children chase one another between mudbrick homes. Merchants load their boats along the riverbank. Life seems calm. Yet beneath this quiet routine, invisible dangers surround every family. Without modern hospitals, antibiotics, or vaccines, even a small illness could become life-threatening. Imagine waking one morning with a fever. Your body feels weak. Your head aches. Every movement requires effort. Today, you might visit a doctor, receive medicine, and recover within days. But in ancient Egypt, the outcome is far less certain. The people of Egypt believe that illness can have many causes. Some are easy to understand. A wound becomes infected. Spoiled food causes stomach pain. Dirty water leads to sickness. But many illnesses remain mysterious. Some believe disease is connected to angry spirits or the will of the gods. Others search for natural explanations. Fortunately, ancient Egypt is home to some of the most advanced healers of the ancient world. These physicians are respected throughout the kingdom. Many study medical knowledge carefully recorded on papyrus scrolls. Over generations, they learn to recognize different illnesses and observe which treatments seem to help. Their work combines careful observation with religious belief. When someone becomes ill, the doctor first asks questions. Where does it hurt? When did the pain begin? Has the patient been able to eat? Can they walk? The physician gently examines the body before deciding how to help. Some treatments involve practical medicine. Others include prayers and protective amulets. Both are considered important. As you watch an experienced doctor preparing herbs inside a small room near the temple, you realize something remarkable. Even more than 3,000 years ago, people were already searching for ways to understand the human body. They did not know about bacteria or viruses. Yet they observed. They experimented. They learned from experience. Their knowledge became the foundation upon which future medicine would slowly grow. Standing quietly beside the healer, you begin to appreciate how precious good health truly is. In ancient Egypt, every healthy sunrise is a gift that can never be taken for granted. As the day continues, you begin to notice that not every illness arrives without warning. Some pains are simply part of everyday life. Take a closer look at the bread resting on a family's table. Although it appears soft, tiny grains of sand often become mixed into the flour while grinding wheat on stone mills. Day after day, year after year, those tiny particles slowly wear away the teeth. By middle age, many Egyptians suffer from severe tooth decay. Some teeth crack. Others become infected. A simple toothache can make eating almost impossible. Without modern dentistry, relief is limited. Doctors may apply herbal mixtures or attempt to remove badly damaged teeth, but many people simply endure the pain. Nearby, another family prepares for one of life's most joyful and most dangerous moments: the birth of a child. Midwives, experienced women from the community, assist mothers during labor. They rely upon generations of practical knowledge, comforting words, herbal remedies, and simple birthing stools designed to make delivery easier. Most births are successful, but not all. Without modern surgery or emergency care, complications can quickly become life-threatening for both mother and baby. Every successful birth is celebrated not only as the arrival of new life, but also as a remarkable act of survival. Outside the village, another kind of danger waits. Construction sites, quarries, farms. Every occupation carries risk. A stone slips while building a temple. A bronze tool cuts deeply into a worker's hand. An ox unexpectedly kicks a farmer. Falls from ladders. Heavy loads carried across uneven ground. Broken bones. Deep bruises. Cuts that later become infected. The physician treats these injuries using linen bandages, wooden splints, honey, and herbal pastes. Honey, surprisingly, helps protect many wounds because of its natural antibacterial properties, something the Egyptians observed long before modern science explained why. As you walk through the village, you realize that surviving ancient Egypt requires more than strength. It requires resilience. Every family knows someone who has lived through injury, illness, or hardship. And still, each morning, life begins again. As evening approaches, the village slowly becomes quieter. The sounds of work begin to fade. Yet one family keeps its door closed. A child has fallen seriously ill. Neighbors speak softly outside, hoping for good news. Sometimes, sickness affects only one person. Other times, it spreads from house to house. Ancient Egyptians do not understand invisible germs, but they recognize patterns. When several people become sick at the same time, fear quietly spreads through the community. Large epidemics are less common than in some later crowded cities, but diseases still move through villages, especially where people and animals live closely together. Fevers, stomach illnesses, parasitic infections from river water, lung diseases carried through smoke-filled homes. Each can claim lives without warning. Children are especially vulnerable. Many never reach adulthood. Even those who survive childhood know that life offers few guarantees. The average life expectancy in ancient Egypt is much shorter than what many people experience today. Some individuals live well into old age, becoming respected elders within their communities. But many others die much younger because of illness, injury, or complications that modern medicine can now prevent or treat. For ordinary Egyptians, every birthday is a quiet victory. Every harvest completed, every child raised, every peaceful evening shared with family. These are achievements never taken for granted. As darkness settles over the village, you notice something remarkable. Despite the uncertainty of life, people continue planting crops, building homes, celebrating weddings, laughing with their children, dreaming about tomorrow. Hope remains stronger than fear. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson ancient Egypt offers us. The people knew life was fragile, yet they refused to let that fragility steal the beauty of each new day. As the stars slowly appear above the Nile, the village grows silent once more. Another family gives thanks for good health. Another quietly mourns someone they have lost. And tomorrow, when the sun rises again over the river, life will continue, as it always has. The morning sun rises once again over the Nile. Its golden light paints the river with peaceful reflections. From a distance, ancient Egypt appears calm. The fertile fields sway gently in the breeze. Fishing boats drift quietly across the water. Palm trees rustle softly overhead. It almost feels like paradise. But appearances can be deceiving. For the people who lived here, danger often waited where they least expected it. As you walk toward the riverbank, an experienced fisherman quietly raises his hand, asking you to stop. Just ahead, resting almost completely still beneath the shallow water, is a Nile crocodile. Its rough skin blends perfectly with the muddy shoreline. Only its eyes remain above the surface. Watching. Waiting. A full-grown crocodile can grow longer than 5 meters and weigh hundreds of kilograms. With astonishing speed, it can burst from the water in a single powerful movement. Fetching water, fishing, crossing the river. Every visit to the Nile carries risk. A little farther downstream, another enormous animal grazes peacefully among the reeds. A hippopotamus. At first, it appears harmless. Its large body rests quietly in the water, almost sleepy. Yet the hippopotamus is one of Africa's most dangerous animals. If startled or protecting its young, it can charge with incredible force. Many boats are overturned each year. Even experienced fishermen respect its territory. Back in the fields, danger hides beneath your feet. A farmer carefully taps the ground with a stick before reaching into a bundle of reeds. Moments later, a cobra slowly slides away into the tall grass. Venomous snakes live throughout the Nile Valley. Most avoid people, but a careless step could end a life within hours. Scorpions present another hidden threat. During the hottest part of the day, they shelter beneath stones, inside wood piles, and within cracks in mud-brick walls. Before lifting a basket or putting on sandals, villagers always check carefully. Children learn this habit from an early age. Nature provides life, but it also demands respect. As you continue walking beside the river, you realize something profound. Surviving ancient Egypt is not about defeating nature. It is about understanding it. Every day, people learn where danger hides. Every day, experience becomes their greatest protection. Animals are not the only dangers facing the people of ancient Egypt. Sometimes the greatest threat comes from the land itself. As midday approaches, the sun climbs high into the cloudless sky. The air becomes almost impossible to escape. Heat radiates from every direction. The sand beneath your feet grows too hot to touch. For farmers, builders, and travelers, working beneath the Egyptian sun requires constant endurance. Without enough water, exhaustion quickly becomes dangerous. Heatstroke can arrive silently. Dizziness, weakness, confusion. The desert shows little mercy. Then, without warning, the wind begins to change. At first, only a gentle breeze stirs the dry ground. Moments later, powerful gusts sweep across the open landscape. Sand rises into the air, forming enormous golden clouds. A sandstorm has arrived. Visibility disappears within minutes. People cover their faces with linen cloth. Animals are hurried toward shelter. Doors and windows are closed tightly. The fine sand pushes through every tiny opening. When the storm finally passes, the village looks different. Fresh layers of dust cover rooftops, courtyards, and pathways. The cleanup begins immediately. Yet another challenge arrives each year with the Nile itself. The annual flood usually brings fertile soil and renewed life. But nature is not always perfectly balanced. Some years, the river rises far beyond expectations. Powerful floodwaters sweep away canals, homes, storage buildings, and newly planted crops. Other years, the flood is too small. Without enough water, fields dry out before the growing season can truly begin. The people cannot control the river. They can only prepare. Generation after generation, Egyptians learn to adapt rather than resist. They strengthen homes, repair canals, store grain for difficult years. Patience becomes one of their greatest survival skills. Standing beneath the brilliant blue sky after the storm has passed, you understand that ancient Egypt is a land of extraordinary beauty. But beauty often walks hand in hand with hardship. As evening draws closer, the village slowly returns to its familiar rhythm. Children play once again. Merchants reopen their market stalls. Boats continue moving quietly along the Nile. It is easy to imagine ancient Egypt as a peaceful land where everyone lives in harmony. But like every civilization, it has its darker side. Whenever valuable grain, livestock, jewelry, or tools exist, theft becomes a possibility. Most villages are close-knit communities where neighbors know one another well. This helps discourage crime. Yet stolen goods sometimes disappear during busy markets or while families work in distant fields. Temple storehouses and royal granaries are carefully guarded because they contain enormous supplies of grain, the kingdom's most valuable resource. Punishments for theft can be severe. Officials investigate complaints. Witnesses are questioned. Those found guilty may face beatings, forced labor, or other legal penalties depending on the seriousness of the crime. Justice is expected to protect order throughout the kingdom. Beyond crime lies another challenge: hard labor. Many workers spend their entire lives performing physically demanding tasks. Stone cutters swing heavy hammers beneath the blazing sun. Brickmakers shape thousands of mud bricks each month. Boatmen pull loaded vessels against the current. Farmers bend over their fields from sunrise until sunset. Even ordinary household work requires constant effort. The human body becomes the most valuable tool anyone owns. As years pass, muscles strengthen. Hands become rough with calluses. Shoulders ache. Backs bend. Old injuries never fully disappear. Still, the work continues. Because stopping is rarely an option. Food depends upon labor. Shelter depends upon labor. The future of every family depends upon labor. Looking across the village as the sun slowly sinks behind the western desert, you begin to understand why surviving ancient Egypt demanded extraordinary resilience. The greatest challenge was not a single dangerous moment. It was facing countless small hardships, every day, for an entire lifetime. And yet, despite everything, these ordinary people built one of history's most extraordinary civilizations. Perhaps their greatest monument was not the pyramids. Perhaps it was their unwavering determination to keep going, one sunrise at a time. As night settles gently over the Nile Valley, the village grows unusually quiet. The day's work has ended. The cooking fires burn lower. Families gather inside their homes, speaking in softer voices than usual. Tonight, one household is mourning. An elderly family member has passed away peacefully after a long life. For the people of ancient Egypt, death is deeply sad. But it is not believed to be the end. Instead, it is the beginning of another journey. The Egyptians believe that every person possesses a soul that continues after the body dies. To prepare for this next life, the body must be carefully preserved. This belief gives rise to one of the most remarkable traditions in human history: mummification. For wealthy families, trained embalmers begin a careful process that lasts around 70 days. The body is respectfully washed with clean water from the Nile and fragrant oils. Special tools are used to remove certain internal organs that would decay quickly. The body is then covered with natron, a naturally occurring mineral salt that gently removes moisture. Over many days, the body slowly dries while keeping its shape. Once this process is complete, the embalmers wrap the body in long strips of fine linen. Layer after layer is placed with extraordinary care. Between some layers, protective amulets are added. Each amulet is believed to offer safety during the soul's journey into the next world. Not everyone can afford this elaborate process. Most ordinary villagers receive much simpler burials. Yet even simple funerals are carried out with love and respect. Every family hopes to honor those who came before them. Nearby, craftsmen prepare a wooden coffin painted with colorful symbols and prayers. The tomb itself is carefully filled with food, clothing, pottery, tools, and treasured belongings. These objects are not placed there as decoration. The family believes they may be needed again in the life beyond death. Standing quietly beneath the stars, you realize that ancient Egyptians spent as much care preparing for death as they did living their everyday lives. To them, death was not a final goodbye. It was simply another doorway waiting to be opened. As the funeral ceremony comes to an end, the family believes that the most important part of the journey is only just beginning. According to ancient Egyptian belief, the soul now travels into a mysterious world beyond the living. It is not an easy journey. The path is filled with unknown places, powerful spirits, and important tests. To help guide the deceased, some families place a special collection of written prayers inside the tomb. Today, historians call these writings the Book of the Dead. Rather than being a single book, it is a collection of magical spells, instructions, and prayers copied onto papyrus scrolls. These words are believed to help the soul avoid danger and safely reach the afterlife. But one final judgment awaits every traveler. Deep within the Hall of Truth stands Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Beside him waits Anubis, the jackal-headed guardian who guides souls to judgment. Nearby is Thoth, the wise god who carefully records the results. In the center of the hall rests a magnificent golden scale. Upon one side is placed the person's heart. The Egyptians believe the heart holds every memory, every choice, and every action from a lifetime. On the other side rests the feather of Ma'at, the symbol of truth, justice, and balance. The room falls completely silent. If the heart is as light as the feather, the soul is judged to have lived an honest and honorable life. The gates of eternal peace open. But if the heart is made heavy by cruelty, dishonesty, or wrongdoing, the soul faces a tragic fate. Waiting beside the scales is the fearsome creature Amit, part crocodile, part lion, and part hippopotamus. She does not punish. She simply ends the soul's journey forever by consuming the heavy heart. To modern listeners, this story may sound mythical. Yet for ancient Egyptians, it was a powerful reminder. Every choice mattered. Every act of kindness. Every promise kept. Every moment of honesty. As you imagine the silent hall of judgment beneath an endless sky, you begin to understand that the Egyptians believed a good life was the greatest preparation for death. The scales have spoken. The journey is complete. For those whose hearts are found worthy, a new life begins. The ancient Egyptians imagined the afterlife as a place of extraordinary peace. It is called the Field of Reeds. At first glance, it looks remarkably familiar. Green fields stretch toward the horizon. Clear canals carry fresh water. Date palms sway gently in the breeze. The Nile flows peacefully beneath a brilliant blue sky. It is Egypt, but without hardship. There is no hunger, no illness, no exhausting labor beneath the blazing sun. Families are reunited with loved ones who passed away before them. Friends meet again. Children grow without fear. The harvest is always plentiful. The river always provides. Birds sing softly above fields that never fail. For the people of ancient Egypt, this vision offers comfort during difficult times. Every hard day in the fields, every injury, every illness, every goodbye, could lead to an eternity of peace if one lived with honesty and kindness. As you stand beside the calm waters of this imagined paradise, you realize how deeply hope shaped Egyptian life. Their magnificent tombs, their carefully preserved mummies, their beautiful prayers, were never simply about death. They were expressions of faith in tomorrow. Even after life itself had ended, the cool evening breeze moves gently across the river. The stars slowly begin appearing above the peaceful landscape. Your journey through ancient Egypt is almost complete. You have walked beside farmers, shared meals with families, worked beneath the blazing sun, faced dangerous animals, witnessed sickness, courage, loss, and hope. And through it all, one truth has remained constant. The people of ancient Egypt did not survive because life was easy. They survived because they believed every new sunrise and every peaceful sunset was part of a much greater journey. Take one slow breath. Listen to the quiet movement of the eternal Nile. Allow your thoughts to become still and gently drift toward sleep. For in our final chapter, we will ask one last question. Would you really survive ancient Egypt? Good night. The first light of dawn gently rises over the Nile one last time. Golden sunlight spreads across the calm water, just as it did when our journey first began. The familiar sound of birds echoes through the reeds. A cool morning breeze carries the scent of fresh earth after another peaceful night. You stand quietly beside the river and look back at everything you have experienced. It feels as though you have lived an entire lifetime in ancient Egypt. You remember your very first morning, stepping onto the soft riverbank as fishermen quietly prepared their boats. The village was just beginning to wake. Smoke drifted from clay ovens. Children rubbed the sleep from their eyes. Farmers shouldered their wooden tools and started walking toward the fields. At that moment, ancient Egypt seemed almost peaceful. Almost simple. But with each passing day, another layer of this remarkable civilization revealed itself. You learned how the mighty Nile shaped every season of life. Its yearly floods brought fertile soil, fresh water, and hope. Without the river, no farms could grow. No villages could survive. No pharaoh could rule. You walked through endless fields of golden wheat, watching ordinary farmers work beneath the blazing sun. You stepped inside cool mudbrick homes where families baked bread, wove linen, and gathered together every evening beneath the stars. You listened as grandparents passed stories from one generation to the next. You watched children learn not from books, but from daily life itself. You entered magnificent temples where priests quietly cared for the gods through sacred rituals. You stood in awe before enormous monuments built by thousands of hardworking laborers whose names history has forgotten. You witnessed both the beauty and the hardship of everyday life. You saw dangerous crocodiles wading silently along the riverbanks. You felt the scorching desert heat. You discovered how illness could arrive without warning. You stood respectfully beside families saying goodbye to loved ones as they prepared them for eternity through mummification. Piece by piece, ancient Egypt became more than a civilization. It became a living world filled with ordinary people trying to build meaningful lives. Now, as your journey nears its end, you begin to understand something important. The true wonder of ancient Egypt is not only its pyramids or golden treasures. It is the millions of ordinary people whose quiet determination made those wonders possible. Today, we remember the pharaohs. But ancient Egypt belonged to everyone. The farmers, the mothers, the children, the builders, the healers, the storytellers. Every sunrise belonged to them, and every sunset carried the hope of another tomorrow. As beautiful as ancient Egypt often appeared, surviving here was never easy. Imagine waking tomorrow morning, not in your own home, but inside a simple mud-brick house beside the Nile. There is no electricity, no running water, no refrigerator filled with food, no medicine cabinet waiting nearby. Every new day begins with uncertainty. Before breakfast, someone must walk to the river carrying heavy clay jars to collect water. Every loaf of bread begins with grinding grain by hand. Every meal requires hours of preparation. The simplest daily tasks demand patience, strength, and teamwork. Soon the sun climbs higher. The cool morning air disappears. Heat settles across the land like a heavy blanket. Farmers continue working because the crops cannot wait. Builders continue lifting stone because monuments must rise. Mothers continue caring for children because families depend upon them. The work never truly stops. Then there is hunger. A poor Nile flood can destroy an entire harvest. If crops fail, everyone suffers. Even the richest officials cannot create food from empty fields. Disease adds another layer of uncertainty. A small cut may become infected. A fever may last for days. A toothache may never fully heal. Without modern medicine, even common illnesses become dangerous. Nature offers little mercy. Crocodiles patrol the river. Cobras hide beneath reeds. Scorpions shelter beneath stones. Sandstorms darken the sky without warning. Extreme heat drains every ounce of energy. Yet perhaps the hardest challenge is not any single danger. It is facing all of them, day after day, year after year. Survival is never guaranteed. It must be earned every sunrise. As you picture yourself living this life, one question quietly forms in your mind. Would you possess the strength to endure it? As the afternoon becomes quieter, your thoughts slowly drift back to the present day. Without realizing it, modern life has surrounded us with countless comforts. We wake by pressing a button on an alarm clock. Clean water flows instantly from a tap. Food waits inside a refrigerator. A doctor can often be reached within minutes. When darkness falls, a single switch fills the room with light. These conveniences feel ordinary because they are always there. But after walking beside the people of ancient Egypt, you begin to see them differently. Something as simple as drinking a glass of water once required a long walk to the Nile. Preparing bread demanded hours of grinding grain. Making clothing required planting flax, spinning thread, weaving linen, and sewing every piece by hand. Nothing happened quickly. Nothing was effortless. Yet something else becomes equally clear. Modern technology has made life easier, but it has also made us forget how much work once stood behind every ordinary comfort. The people of ancient Egypt measured wealth differently, not by the number of possessions they owned, but by healthy children, a successful harvest, a safe home, reliable neighbors, peaceful evenings shared with family. Perhaps they appreciated these blessings more deeply because they understood how fragile they truly were. Looking across the calm waters of the Nile one final time, you begin to wonder, if everything you use today suddenly disappeared, how much could you truly accomplish with only your own hands? The people of ancient Egypt answered that question every single day. And somehow, against incredible odds, they built one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. As our journey through ancient Egypt continues toward its final moments, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The greatest wonder of this civilization was never built from stone. It was built from people. When most of us think about ancient Egypt, we picture towering pyramids, magnificent temples, golden masks, and mighty pharaohs. Yet those incredible achievements were only possible because of millions of ordinary men, women, and children whose names have been forgotten by history. Before sunrise each morning, farmers walked into the fields with simple wooden tools. Builders lifted heavy limestone blocks beneath the burning sun. Fishermen cast their nets into the Nile, never knowing what the day might bring. Women baked bread, carried water, wove linen, and cared for their families from dawn until long after sunset. Children learned responsibility from an early age, helping wherever they could. Even the elderly remained valued members of the community, sharing wisdom gathered over a lifetime. None of these people expected fame. Most would never see a royal palace. Few would leave behind written records of their lives. And yet, together, they created one of the longest-lasting civilizations the world has ever known. Their strength did not come from wealth. It came from patience, from discipline, from helping one another through difficult seasons. When the Nile flooded too little, they adapted. When illness visited their homes, they cared for one another. When the desert wind buried their paths beneath sand, they simply cleared the way and continued. They understood something that modern life sometimes encourages us to forget. Great achievements are rarely the result of one extraordinary day. They are built through thousands of ordinary days, each filled with quiet determination. Perhaps the true lesson of ancient Egypt is not found inside a pyramid. It is found inside a humble mud-brick home where a family works together, shares a simple meal, and prepares for tomorrow with hope. As you look across the peaceful village one final time, you realize that history remembers kings, but civilizations are carried upon the shoulders of ordinary people. And perhaps they are the real heroes of ancient Egypt. The long day is finally coming to an end. The brilliant Egyptian sun slowly sinks behind the western desert, painting the sky with gentle shades of gold, amber, and soft purple. A cool breeze begins to replace the heat that covered the land only hours before. The Nile reflects the colors of the evening sky like a sheet of polished glass. The river that has given life to Egypt for thousands of years now flows quietly toward the sea. You sit beneath the shade of a tall date palm, watching the village prepare for another peaceful night. Farmers return home carrying their wooden tools across their shoulders. Fishing boats drift slowly back to shore. Children laugh as they race along the riverbank one last time before dinner. The smell of fresh bread rises from clay ovens. Somewhere nearby, a mother gently calls her children home. An old man smiles as he watches the sunset he has seen thousands of times before. Nothing feels rushed. No one seems to be chasing the hours. The rhythm of life follows the rhythm of nature. As darkness slowly approaches, birds glide across the river before disappearing into the reeds. Palm leaves sway gently above your head. Tiny ripples spread across the calm water where a fish briefly breaks the surface. You close your eyes for a moment and simply listen. The quiet splash of oars. The whisper of the evening wind. The distant sound of goats returning to their shelters. The peaceful chorus of crickets beginning their nightly song. For a few precious moments, the worries of survival seem far away. The people of ancient Egypt understood something that is easy to forget today. Even after the hardest day of work, there is still beauty to be found. A sunset costs nothing. A cool breeze belongs to everyone. The sound of flowing water asks for nothing in return. Perhaps these simple gifts are why the people of the Nile never lost hope. As the last light disappears beyond the horizon, you find yourself breathing a little more slowly, a little more deeply. The day is over, and the peaceful night has finally arrived. Night has returned to the Nile Valley. The final cooking fires have faded into glowing embers. The village has grown quiet once more. Above you stretches a sky unlike almost any seen in the modern world. Thousands upon thousands of stars shine with breathtaking clarity. Without electric lights, the heavens appear endless. The Milky Way stretches across the darkness like another great river flowing above the Nile itself. You lie comfortably upon a woven reed mat placed on the flat rooftop of a mud brick home. A gentle breeze brushes across your face. Somewhere nearby, a family quietly finishes its evening conversation. Soon, even those voices fade into silence. The only sounds that remain are timeless ones. The steady movement of the Nile. The soft chirping of crickets. A distant owl calling across the fields. Palm leaves gently rustling in the night wind. As you listen, your thoughts begin drifting back across everything you have experienced. You walked beside farmers whose hands fed an entire civilization. You stood inside humble homes filled with warmth and kindness. You watched children grow into hardworking adults. You entered magnificent temples where faith shaped everyday life. You witnessed both sickness and healing, danger and courage, loss and hope. You learned that survival in ancient Egypt was never guaranteed. And yet, life continued. Not because it was easy, but because people chose hope over fear. They planted seeds without knowing how the harvest would turn out. They raised children despite life's uncertainty. They built monuments that they themselves might never see completed. That quiet optimism became the heartbeat of ancient Egypt. As the stars continue shining above you, your breathing becomes slower. Your body grows lighter. The worries of the present day seem very far away. For a little while, you are simply another traveler resting beside the eternal Nile beneath the same stars that watched over this remarkable civilization thousands of years ago. And now, our journey has finally reached its end. The Nile continues its endless flow through the darkness, just as it has for countless generations. The stars above remain unchanged. The desert rests peacefully beneath the quiet moon. The people of ancient Egypt have long since faded into history. Yet somehow, their voices still seem to echo softly across the river. In the steady rhythm of a farmer's footsteps. In the laughter of children playing outside a mud brick home. In the gentle crackle of bread baking inside a clay oven. In the whisper of evening prayers rising from ancient temples. These moments remind us that history is not only about kings or monuments. It is about ordinary people. People who loved their families, worked hard, faced uncertainty with courage, and found happiness in simple things. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, perhaps you will carry one small lesson from their world into your own. Take time to appreciate clean water, a warm meal, the comfort of home, the people who share your life. These everyday gifts would have meant everything to an ordinary Egyptian living beside the Nile. Now, take one slow, gentle breath. Feel your body becoming completely relaxed. Listen carefully. The soft movement of the river, the distant chorus of crickets, the quiet breeze moving through the palm leaves. Everything is peaceful. Everything is still. There is nowhere else to be. Nothing more to do. Only rest. Thank you for joining this journey through ancient Egypt. May your dreams be calm. May your sleep be peaceful. And when the sun rises tomorrow morning, may it remind you that every new day is a gift, just as it was for the people who lived along the eternal Nile thousands of years ago. Good night, and sleep well.